you, I didn't get to my house until 11:48 in the night. I'm humbly residing at Ikeja. But as at 9 p.m., I was still at Ikeja, alone. To the end that, well, it will give me, in fact, if I have the opportunity, I actually, in order to kill boredom, I was videoing and recording, and it occurred to me, certainly, that there has to be a thinking outside the box to address the situation in Lagos before it's, like they say, a keg of gunpowder sitting by fire. If you are not careful, an explosion is imminent. And that's why there are several diverse fallbacks. I also would want to let you know that I almost did not get with my content, though in the long run, in the end, as I tried to safeguard this and that, I lost my file and the whatever content that were in. But at least, thank God, I got home safe. Praise the Lord again. Now, what do we do to get the situation under control? That day before yesterday, one of the speakers told us that what qualifies a city to be tagged mega is when you have a population of 10 million people residing within that enclosure with all needful amenities also in good shape. But then we were made to know the day before yesterday that Lagos now harbors 20-something million, meaning 2 mega cities in one in terms of population. But then city in quotes, what is the percentage ratio? I witnessed when it was on health discourse day before yesterday, how it was almost turning from a gentlemanly discussion to a fist-cuff one. Why? Because of diverse or divergent take on what it is. This is my experience. No, that is not it. But come to think of it, if in a mega city, 10 million people, what percentage should medical be? And if you now ask that question, and then you are not even having enough, because we are aware of the brain drain, of the level of our checking out of medical personnel, trained and all that. We are talking about transport, you will say. But then, for my people, we strive to think outside the box to say it should be a consistent plan, medium term and long term. The medium term, we have said, okay, maybe roads should be put in proper shape and all that. But let's look at it. If the roads are to be put in proper shape, the people involved, like what I experienced that day before yesterday. Now, they were trying to put the rail crossing in because there's no place to go. And the level or the strain on family that they think are okay, he's already, you don't know how he's surviving or thereabout. You come, you are meeting the supposed being in Lagos for 5 years, living in a one-room shackle, and that one tells you no room here. Then are you wondering therefore why you have so many homeless? So there should be a deliberate pull out of population from Lagos State, a synergy between the states, because come to think of it, the mega cities that we are talking about that are smart, take for instance maybe the US or even China. Do you know what works there? The government is accountable to the people, not the people being accountable to government. In the sense, You cannot reside in any place where you are not supposed to be. The influx into Lagos, if there's a technological firm where you are registered and you are having a reason to be, not that you want to come and look for, then things will be under superb control. So how do you pull out the population? A synergy between the states, we said. Government of Lagos State, by the grace of God, we know that in terms of land mass you may not have, but before you can kind of catch the attention of investors, there has to be a kind of level of security and assurance that whatever they are coming to invest in is not running at the risk of jungle justice to them. Vis-a-vis, you go strives about is in contrast to the one that played, the one you are making reference to. This one, it's great. Then a long-term plan, 2 years, you can within. Then all the facilities that is necessary and needful for a good standard life, hospital, recreation center, and all that within. And then when you are there, you are given the opportunity of a farm space, and then a promised stipends for the number of years you are expected to produce and sell before you take charge.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, it's clear.
So if you have a place, you move to the village, and your family is not going to be stranded under the bridge, and then you have a stipend to look forward to,
all right,
and then you wake up, you have a place to go.
You may want to respond to that.
God bless you.
Thank you. Amen.
In the name of one Nigeria, I think. Kabiyesi. Emma Binu, I did not grow up in Yoruba, and that is why I forgot the protocol. Olori, Kabiyesi. And I told him that I fumbled, that I must do it when I have the opportunity. Beijing is not, Lagos is not as populous as Beijing. Beijing is the capital of China.
Now, I think it has come out that Lagos cannot actually solve Lagos problem in isolation. That if you are talking about building a greater Lagos, provisions must be made for neighboring city or communities, and the most closest to Lagos is your place, Ogun State. So that how do you think, or what do you think as a people or as a state, how do you think they can work to make sure that these problems, especially on transportation, can be solved together?
Also, as I said earlier, in my own aspect, in contribution or in how do we solve this issue of transportation? Like now, I would suggest, like, what's it called, a toll gates. It won't be a privatization thing. Yeah, like a toll gate. You know, when you're going, you're coming in, you're paying for it. It will be for the government, and everybody passing through the toll gate, through and through. If you're coming into the Lagos State from Ogun State, you pay. And you're going out, you also pay. So with that, I believe we can have, let me say, some money from the government. I'm not talking about privatization now. It has to be the government that owns it. So with that, they can support the good road and transportation.
I think that was an excellent one. So that the implication is that revenue from the toll gate can be shared between the neighboring city or state that Lagos is linked with. The implication is that Lagos is linked with Ogun State on this axis, from almost on all the axis, right? Then there is the toll gate for the one on Kutonu also. People going to Kutonu, because if truly those money coming from toll gate can even be directly responsible for repairs of our roads, I'm sure it will not be in this moribund state. And somebody say it is not as bad How bad should it be? So that now we are using 5 hours. Is it not when we use 24 hours? So when you are going to work, on the road you close, then you turn back, then you go back home again. It's so fun. It's not funny anyway. So you want to react to it. I think there's a mass transit in true form of it. Please kindly watch the screen. There's a mass transit that you will see. Please, can we play that? Hello. Can we play that mass transit? Yes, let's see the way it works. Please watch that. Are you sure?
Okay.
Okay. Are you not seeing anything there? Okay, that's the bus for mass transit. Okay, let's say now this is side of the road. Okay, for buses going this way. This the other end of the road for buses what coming this way. So the bus is as wide as the width of the road. So it moves on a little rail, and as vehicles are moving this way, 3 vehicles this way, 3 vehicles the other way, is moving on its own over them and carrying more than 4,000 people each time it goes. So there's no hold up anywhere. If you want to go to work, you drop your car, enter that bus, no hold up for you at all. Similar to a large size of BRT lane. That's what's happening there. So that one can really suffice for.
So I think to make a greater city, truly, we need to think outside the box. Technology has to come into it. Contributions from neighboring communities must also be taken. I hope those are good points that we are taking away from this conversation. I don't know if we have further contributions, questions, or comments from us to add to that. Please, if you have any, let me see so that we can entertain it. Okay, in the absence of that. Okay, where is Busala coming? Busala. So how many people want to comment on it, please? 1, 2, Busala, 1, 2.
Thank you. I think for me, the number one thing is for the downfall, whatever, to be off Lagos. As long as you have the downfall in Lagos, there's no solution. Because a few weeks ago, the MD of LASMA, was saying that they cannot even risk the life of his staffs to arrest downfall drivers. That the downfall thing, there's no solution about it. So as long as those guys remain in Lagos, all what we are seeing here, even if we have best of roads, we'll still have traffic. Because they are the ones that will prefer to turn their vehicle, they'll just reverse and climb one covert and go to the other side. So if the governor will hear it, Governor Sanwo-Olu, please ensure downfall leaves Lagos. So that whatever plan they are putting in place will work. That's my own contribution. I want downfall to leave. That's the solution. And instead of bringing all these long buses, I expect that you should have short buses. Short buses that can move faster, not this long thing that you travel from Ikeja, from Bega to Ikeja, you spend the whole day. But when you have a short bus that like maybe 6, 10 passengers, it's faster. You queue for the long buses for God knows how many hours, and the long buses take forever from Bega to Ikeja. Let's have smaller buses and let downfall be off the road.
Okay, this number 2. This number 2. Okay, she's number 2.
In authorized places. But what do you see? That seems to be the order of the day. Once the government does not step up its acts of enforcement of law and order in Lagos State, I don't think we can get anything wrong. I don't want to be an apostle of doom, but the government really need to step up its game. When they do, that will create a conducive environment for prospective investors to come and invest, because I would not want to bring my money to where I know I will not even realize anything, that my capital will go down the drain. And if the government is not supporting us legally, so what do you do? So the government needs to step up its game when it comes to enforcement of law and order. Like I remember day before yesterday, the madam that that spoke to us said we are not disciplined. Their indiscipline seems to be the order of the day. Then if the discipline is the order of the day, how do we checkmate that? What is the government doing about that? I remember during Fashola era, I'm sorry to mention his name, no Okada will pass through unauthorized routes. You will not see down for drivers taking one way. There was actually order everywhere. Law and order was everywhere. That was the order of the day then. But unfortunately, what have we seen in the last two governments? I'm sorry, I'm not a political party card carrier of any. I don't know at all. So I think if that is done, we'll get it right. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Oh, Kabiyesi Sao. Well done, everybody. Actually, I just want to chip in an idea. Actually, the means of transportation would actually work. That's if we consider the height of the bridge. Because why, if actually we bring in those buses and we eventually start using it, we have to consider the height of the bridges in Lagos. Because the bridge will later affect sooner or later. That's number one. And also, we look at the commercial buses also aspect also. That's number two. But what me I would have suggested is that can't we run cable, as in use cable like this train, a cable train which moves up, the upper train. I don't know the name they call it. It would have been more better. It can contain at least, let me say, like 50 passengers. I don't know, but it's a nice idea. It's a very, very nice idea. It will reduce cost of transport and also reduce cost of traffic for us also. So if we can use cable train, we can use cable train to transport ourselves to different locations or different places. It will help. I don't know. But I just
you support them with financial support. That's one. Two, on the area of bus drivers and conductors, there are returns they give to those in authority. There are returns they give to their chairmen wherever they are situated. So there is nothing you put in place that they won't buy.
turn it. Turn the other way.
Landscape is.
Nike, turn it.
Only what she 70 Black Friday.
No, she's 850 ago on similar price. Wọ́n ṣe ìgbésí ni kò síbẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Nike, Nike. I don't touch light.
Group A, this month, each group A just 99 now.
New H9 Plus. 17,000. Are you kidding me? Brand new. No one pay me can brand new.
Go slot.
Who's calling me?
Go slot.
Who is calling me? Yeah, 17,000. We know that. We'll take pay now.
Just slot now. I did a easy buy. I'm a Sunday there.
Easy buy. Maybe they put them on that way. How many months?
Group B should
How many months?
Group B should come forth, please. Group B.
3 months, like how much?
Daniel. Of course.